The dark side of that 70s show. They try to hide, then this happens. When that 70s show is mentioned, most people remember the laughter, playful antics, and strong friendships of the characters. However, behind its colorful, nostalgic facade lies a dark secret that has been hidden for years. As these secrets slowly emerge, the public is left shocked by the truth. The issues are far from trivial. Abuse of power, sexual scandals, and other forms of misconduct were happening behind the scenes. These revelations not only damaged the show's reputation, but also had deep, lasting consequences, harming the victims and shaking the entertainment industry. The darkness was cleverly concealed beneath the show's bright exterior, like a stain hidden under a glamorous red carpet. But now, the harsh reality has come crashing down, shattering the perfect image we once admired. These truths force us to reevaluate what we really know about the people we once adored. The sexism and gender dynamics. That 70s show, while beloved for its humorous situations and the charm of its characters, subtly addresses deeper issues surrounding gender. The male characters in the show, especially Kelso, Hyde, and Eric, often embody a toxic masculinity model with behaviors such as promiscuity, selfishness, and disrespect toward women. This not only reflects outdated views on gender from the 1970s, but also contributes to reinforcing gender stereotypes that persisted for a long time afterward. The portrayal of Donna, a strong and independent woman, becoming entangled in an unstable relationship with Eric, highlights clear gender inequality. The expectation of Donna as a good girl weighs heavily on her, while Eric's controlling and selfish behaviors are portrayed as expressions of masculinity. The normalization of toxic behaviors in That 70s Show has contributed to creating a distorted standard for relationships. Jokes about promiscuity, jealousy, and control have inadvertently made it easier for audiences, especially younger viewers, to accept these negative behaviors as normal. When revisiting the show through a modern lens, we realize that That 70s Show is not just a product of its time, but also a testament to the existence of deep social issues. Analyzing the toxic elements in this show helps us better understand how gender stereotypes and unequal relationships are formed and perpetuated in society. The show's relationship with drugs. That 70s show portrays a rather ambiguous image of drug use, particularly marijuana, within the context of the 1970s hippie culture. Smoking marijuana is depicted as an inseparable part of the group of young friends' lives, associated with freedom, rebellion, and camaraderie. However, the show's normalization of drug use inadvertently creates a distorted and potentially dangerous image. In That 70s Show, marijuana use is not just a simple act, but is romanticized, becoming a symbol of liberation and individuality. Characters, especially Hyde, frequently use marijuana and encourage their friends to do the same. This creates the impression that drug use is completely harmless and even enjoyable. However, the show completely overlooks the serious consequences of substance abuse, such as addiction, mental health issues, and legal problems. The way That 70s Show portrays drugs could have negative consequences for viewers, especially young people. When viewers see characters using drugs in a carefree and enjoyable manner, they may develop a misguided perception of drug use. They might believe that using drugs is a normal and harmless behavior, even a way to express rebellion and personality. The normalization of drug use in That 70s Show serves as a prime example of how popular culture can influence the perceptions and behaviors of its audience. The entertainment industry bears a significant responsibility to communicate accurate and comprehensive messages about social issues. Romanticizing drug use could reduce awareness of its harmful effects and encourage negative behavior, especially among youth. Some viewers and critics began to criticize the way the show portrayed male characters, including Hyde as cool and aspirational, despite their many disrespectful and sometimes crude behaviors toward women. While Hyde was a symbol of rebellion and defiance against societal norms, when connected to real-world allegations of abuse, his on-screen image became much harder to accept. Some felt that Masterson's real-life actions had tainted That 70's Show's legacy, raising questions about whether the values promoted by the show still align with today's ethical standards. This case has also sparked a broader debate about the responsibility of the entertainment industry in addressing the misconduct of celebrities. Many people have questioned why the allegations against Masterson were not brought to light sooner, and whether continuing to air episodes featuring him amounted to covering up his wrongdoings. The issue has raised important conversations about accountability, the ethical standards upheld by the entertainment industry, and the potential harm done when misconduct is ignored or enabled. The scenes were inappropriate for the actor's age. One of the major controversies surrounding That 70's Show was the fact that young actors, particularly Mila Kunis, who played Jackie Burkhart, were required to perform intimate and sensitive scenes while still very young. Mila Kunis joined the show at just 14 years old, but she had to film kissing scenes, romantic moments, and even scenes with mild sexual content. These scenes not only touched on sensitive sexual issues, but also forced young actors to face professional demands they weren't fully prepared for, both physically and psychologically. In a later interview, Mila Kunis shared that she felt uncomfortable and struggled with participating in these romantic scenes, especially since she didn't fully understand the sexual aspects of the script. She had to pretend to be older in order to fit the script's requirements, raising questions about how sensitive the producers were to the young actors. Similarly, other actors like Topher Grace, Eric, and Ashton Kutcher, Kelso, were also involved in romantic or sexual scenes, despite being quite young when the show began. These scenes not only caused discomfort for the actors, but also raised the question of whether it was truly necessary to involve teenage actors in sexually charged scenes when they weren't emotionally mature enough. Beyond affecting the young actors, these scenes reflect a larger issue in the entertainment industry: the lack of protection for teen actors on set. Actors like Mila Kunis could feel placed in an awkward position when asked to participate in romantic or even sexual scenes without fully understanding the context. This not only impacts the comfort of the actors, but could also have long-term effects on their psychological development. Salary structure and injustice. The issue of pay inequality among the cast of That 70's Show was a major point of controversy throughout the production of the show. Despite its overwhelming success, many of the actors, particularly the young faces like Topher Grace, Mila Kunis, and Ashton Kutcher, faced serious injustice when it came to salary distribution. In the early seasons, when the show was still trying to find its footing, the young actors had to accept modest pay compared to their influence and contributions. The pay disparity became more apparent as the show grew in popularity. One of the most notable cases was that of Topher Grace, who played the central character Eric Foreman. Despite being the face of the show, he was not paid a salary that matched his importance to the series. This inequality not only affected the morale of the actors, but also created rifts within the cast and crew. Many actors felt they were being treated unfairly and disrespected. Ultimately, the dissatisfaction led some actors, most notably Topher Grace, to leave the show. This issue highlighted the flaws in the entertainment industry's pay structure. The fact that actors, especially young ones, had to deal with unfair profit distribution is a concerning problem. This not only undermines the rights of the actors, but also diminishes the quality of the artistic product. The tense relationships among the cast. The success of That 70's Show not only brought immense popularity, but also exposed deep rifts within the relationships among the cast members. Initially, the cast was close-knit, but as individual careers developed unevenly, tensions began to rise. Topher Grace, who played Eric Foreman, became the focal point of this discord. As the show reached its peak, Grace felt that his role was being limited and that his salary was not commensurate with his contributions. His dissatisfaction grew as he watched the increasing fame and paychecks of his co-stars, particularly Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. Grace's decision to leave the show created a significant fracture within the cast, affecting morale and the quality of the later seasons. The rise of Kutcher and Kunis also fueled the tension. Both became major stars in their own right and had opportunities outside the show. The growing disparity in fame and income created a divide between them and the remaining cast members, making the atmosphere on set increasingly tense and less cohesive. These conflicts not only impacted the morale of the cast, but also had a negative effect on the quality of the show. The lack of harmony among the actors led to awkward, forced scenes that detracted from the program's charm, ultimately diminishing the appeal of the later seasons. That 70's show was once a symbol of fun and friendship, but behind its glittering facade lies a dark secret of abuse of power and sexual scandals. These truths not only tarnished the image of the show, but also left deep psychological scars on the victims involved. While the show remains a fond memory for many fans, the reality behind it forces us to reconsider everything we once admired.